Hello everyone, my name is T Draguno, you can call me T, and this is another FNAF figure review, and we will be reviewing 3 figures. FNAF 2, Withered Chica, Withered Freddy, Withered Foxy. So far all of these Withered figures were hard to find, but luckily I could find them at GameStop, and it looks like that there is a lot more stock these days. So check your local GameStops, sometimes check a few Targets, Walmart. Any Walmarts near me seem to not supply FNAF merchandise, but check your GameStops and Targets. And just by looking at the initial look of Freddy and Foxy, I think there's something that needs to be said when it comes to Jazwares. And it's the quality of paint and washing of the withering. And what I mean with that is, by looking at the promotional picture of Freddy, right? It seems like the spacing of the dirt and grimes seems to be spaced pretty nicely in the promotional art picture, but then you start to get a look at, it looks better farther away, but then when you get really up close, and you'll probably see it better as soon as I get it out of the box, that the dirt grime just seems like they kind of took a paintbrush and just whoosh, whoosh. Just kind of washed it, just wipe, and kind of left it at that. And I feel like they could have did a lot better with that. And same goes for Foxy. That dirt washing of that withered look is just paintbrush swipe one, paintbrush stroke here, and that's about it. But besides that, they both look pretty decent. Both $10 going at GameStop $15 upcharge, but not too bad. But definitely could use paint improvements. Withered Chica, interesting with Withered Chica. In the promotional art, this looks way more silver. This looks more of like a gray matte look. I don't mind it, just that this looks way more silver, and I don't know why. But overall, dirt and grime, Withered Chica looks pretty good. She could use a little more grime on her face, but overall not too bad. I love the wiring that's going on in here. Been really searching for these FNAF figures and they look awesome, but without further ado, let me just open them up right now. These are the available ones that you can get. You can get a Withered Bunny and a Withered, I say Withered, you can get a regular puppet. I seen the puppet. I was not too interested in the puppet because I definitely wanted Withered Freddy, Withered Foxy, and Withered Bonnie first before I accept that. I did see Balloon Boy, but I'm not too much of a Balloon Boy fan. So yeah, not a priority. But let's just open all of these figures up. Starting with Withered Freddy. Alright. Opening this up. They still all have the same standard background of the FNAF 2 background middle piece. I already have a couple of these from the toy animatronic, so don't need that anymore. As you see, it comes with this basic plastic, basic packaging. Just gonna squeeze out here. Freddy should be able to pop out like so. Alright, easy. Okay, so with Withered Freddy, this is a World of FNAF series animatronic, which means it will have the jump scare mechanic that is on the side right here. Pushing this will activate the jump scare mechanic. Has his arms lunge forward, and he jump scares you with his jaw opening slightly like that. So yeah, take what you will with that jump scare mechanic. I think Jazwares should retire it, but hey, it's there. And it's alright. So far, seemed like in my hands, he seems like a little bit wobbly, but he actually stands really nicely. Even though it looks like that he's about to fall over, but it just seems that way. He has a really good sense of balance. From the bottom to the top. for about $10 to $15. Pretty average. I do like more of the weathering that's going on in his back. Because with Withered Freddy, it seems like I think the brown is a little bit too orange, and it should be just a little bit of a darker brown, but it could be just me. But I do like more the weathering in the back than in the front. The front just looks like they just slapped on some paint from a brush. The back actually looks like kind of got washed in there a bit more, and I like that better. He's got articulation, a couple of at the joints, at the elbows, go like this, which is really good. He can bend up like that, which is worse than 90, but he is an animatronic. He is chunky, so you're not going to get too much of a bend there, but just enough to get him into some standard animatronic poses. You got a basic hand that will bend like this, swivel like that, bend backwards. Pretty nice. There is no neck joint because of that jump scare mechanic. The ears, the paint around the ears could do a little better, and I wish they kind of painted the silver. If I can get a focus, I wish they would paint the silver around the ears. I feel like for $10 they could implement that, but it's not too bad. It's something if you want to customize, you can do it yourself, I guess. Top hat looks nice. Seems like there's a little bit of chipping on Freddy's nose on my Freddy. And his face, I think Chica and Foxy is going to suffer from this. There's not a lot of withering at the face. They're kind of just a little bit too clean here. So just some custom paint will make this Freddy shine even more. You can still move the arms up and down like this. Legs go back that much. He can have his legs go forward. He can sit down like that. He's got these drop down leg joints, so that's good for posing around. He's got some swivels at the knees. You can spin that around. Of course, swivel at the ankles as well on both feet, like that. You can bend down the ankles, bend up. You can bend the knees like that. Give Freddy a stomping like look. And you can pivot them a little bit forward. Looks like right there you can pivot a little bit forward. Most likely people will use it backwards like that. So articulation, pretty good. Nothing feels too loose. The only drawback I could say is this jump scare mechanic, but you can still move the arms forward despite the jump scare mechanic like that. So you still rotate those arms. Just like that. Jaw, there is no black inside the jaw. I think the jaw should be black on the inside, but I guess they said the shadow cast is darkness, so you won't really need it. Because it looks black in there right now, but I don't know, I'm just picky. You see, I'm just picky. But overall, pretty good. Needs better paint, but overall articulation and what you're getting for Freddy is pretty decent. Alright, let's move on to Withered Foxy. One more quick thing that I forgot to say. Withered Freddy's eyelids are brown canonically, I'm pretty sure. In the game, they're supposed to be brown. But for some reason, they made Withered Freddy's eyelids black. Like in FNAF 1, when it should be FNAF 2, brown. So, I don't know if that's a weird detail that they did that on purpose, or was this by accident? I don't know. I think they should be brown, and I will be painting them brown. Withered Foxy, one of my favorite animatronics. Doesn't matter which Foxy, all the Foxys. I love all Foxy. Foxy is cool. Foxy is a pirate. Foxy is red. I love Foxy. Foxy is cool. You know what's not cool? The UK rules. And how UK stopped this animatronic from being the best it could be because you couldn't have quote-unquote sharp edges or angles. So they had to cover up his parts. At least this looks better than the Indo series Withered Foxy because they made it burgundy on the inside. I think the silver is much better, a much better choice. Really some black paint to go into the indentions of things, or just carving it out will make them perfect. But this is a step up from the Endo series Withered Foxy, in my opinion. Here's Withered Freddy. Here's Withered Foxy out of the box, and I'm just going to point this out here on his snout. Again, this one brush stroke of dirt paint wash is not doing it. Just like they just took a paintbrush. It does not look good there. They seem to do pretty good around the arms and legs. Although I don't know, these feel like should be a bit dirtier. Definitely forgot to do some dirt washing here. But for the arms, everything else is pretty okay. Alright, here's the back. Of course, just like Freddy. Jump scare mechanic. Foxy opens his jaw pretty darn wide. He's got some dirt on his hands. But everywhere else, the dirt seems pretty okay. The snout is definitely a no. No, that's not good. And a little more withering goes around the face could do really well. And because we couldn't make too much of an indention on Foxy, he has this silver chrome dome instead of being dug into his head. So he's got that Terminator dome looking side piece. I don't hate it. I don't hate it actually. It's alright. I'm getting used to it, and I kind of started to like it, actually. Same with the silver neck going on. Even though that it's kind of thick, you're really not going to notice it. You're really not going to notice it too much. But I assume that Foxy has about the same articulation, except he can probably bend his legs a lot straighter and away because he is more nimble of an animatronic. Oh, wait, hold on. I say that, but it looks like Foxy's legs are... Okay, it was a little bit stuck there, but we got it to drop down. He's got the same drop down. A little bit there, yeah. The leg's a little bit tighter on the drop down, but still usable. Alright, he can almost do the splits with his legs. He's got those Endo 03. Am I saying it wrong? Endo 03? Endo 02? I don't know. Basically, he's got the 3 toes instead of the 2 toes this time. Of course, he can bend at the leg if I actually can do that. Am I doing it the right way? Should be both ways, actually. His legs are a little bit stiff. A little bit stiff. I cannot bend that comfortably, and I'm going to have to use some WD-40 to get that loose. Let's try the other leg. Okay. So, because I can show you. The leg right here. The leg can bend about that much. I wish it could bend just a little bit more. Seems like there's a tiny little piece of plastic that stops it from doing that, but it's not a bad bend. We're just used to Foxy running. I can't bend this leg right now. It's a little too stiff. But he's supposed to run. Foxy's a sprinter. But you can bend that leg, move it around like this, and move the ankle. This one is also a little bit tight. That one's a little too tight to move, but this one, so it's the opposite. This one's easy, this one's hard. This one's easy, this one's hard. You can bend it like this, or about high, about that much. Pretty big forward bend there. Swivel around. And I like how the endoskeleton is going inside the legs like that. I like that visibility. Probably should have just a little bit more darkness in there to show more of an indentation and details of that, but there's a little dirt washing there. Wish it could continue down here. And this part usually should be a lot thinner and should be all chipped into and everything. But we do have a solid silver area, so it's not bad. Still a functional Withered Foxy, a fine looking Withered Foxy. I'm glad at least the eyelid for Foxy is red, as Freddy should be brown, but it's black. At least this is red. The eye patch doesn't move, it's just permanently like that over there. Foxy's ear is just a whole solid red piece. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe a darker brown in this center there. I don't know. Should be something darker in the ear hole right there. This ear is fine. I do like how the hair is a little bit droopier than regular Foxy. I like that. So far, so decent. You can still move the arms all the way around despite the jump scare mechanic. Swivel this hand around and arm. Like so. You can bend the arm just like this. Yep, just like that. And he'll be bending that arm about that much. I wish he could bend that arm just a bit more, considering he is a more nimble animatronic. I think he should have more of a bend at his arm right here at the bicep, but unfortunately he does not. But he can bend that just a bit backwards. I also noticed something interesting with this Jazwares. This piece, I don't know, it just seems kind of bigger than this one. This shoulder piece kind of fits perfectly. This shoulder piece looks like it's a bit smaller, or this silver part is kind of showing and being a bit bigger. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but I don't know, it just seems a tad bigger to me. Or this piece of red is just smaller. I hope that's not a sign of the joint is starting to pop out, though. But I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. And of course, you have the hand where it has the hook. This hook is stationary. I don't think there's any articulation or twist you can do to it. I don't think. I don't see anything that indicates that, so the hook is just one solid piece. Let's see. Anything here? I don't think it is. Just a soft plastic rubber piece. Soft plastic. Yep. Well, yeah, overall pretty good. Like I said with Freddy, needs paint work, but overall $10 figure, pretty nice. I wish he can hold that jaw open. But without further ado, let's move on to Withered Chica. But before that, I am going to pull out Target Ringmaster Foxy. And if you haven't checked out my review on my Ringmaster Foxy, you should. I'll go over all his details in that video. But I do like the withering and the paintwork that's on his legs. His legs seem to have a lot more going on for it. I like the way that they did the rust and grime on his legs. There's just so much more going on there. So much more than Withered Freddy and Withered Foxy's. He just seems like he has way more. And it's like all over his body. Seems like there's so much more going on there. So yeah. I don't know why they did so well with the legs here, but then just kind of left this a little bit too clean. But, hey, nothing just a paint job can't fix. But I hope they continue to improve on their painting skills. Overall articulation, pretty good. Ah, yes, Withered Chica. A more unique animatronic, considering that she has no hands. They're just kind of hanging out with wires. And she comes with an office set, which is, I think, the best piece here. You can say the middle piece is the best piece, but I like how it has the toy animatronic Celebrate in the background. That's going to be super cool. So far, initial look with those sharp bird toes at the bottom. Very cool looking animatronic. Of course, there's one problem that I have with this, and we'll get into it when I open this. So let's get into it. On the packaging, you are going to get this glorious FNAF 2 background. It's very big here. You're going to get this large looking background ventilation system from the FNAF 2 location in the FNAF 2 game. And it's funny because from the game, you would think, how do these animatronics possibly fit into these little vent looking things on the sides? Because usually there's things to the side like this, or on this side. But noticing it in my hands, this is actually very big. If a vent was actually this big, you can probably fit 3 grown adults in here to crawl at the same time. In retrospective, this is a very big vent, so I can see how animatronics can fit straight in there. Especially the toy animatronics. They're big, but still kind of nimble. The older Wither animatronics are a little bit thicker, but that's why they come in the middle. But toys can definitely crawl their bodies right through that big gate. That is a pretty big vent. I like the little light button. There's no light they can display down there, but technically if you want to customize this and put like a light fixture thing right there, that'll be cool. But this is just a print along with the printed wires. It would have been cool to have like physical wires on the side, but I get it. You don't need the sculpt. It is still very nice detail. I love this poster of the toy animatronics right here. Very nice. You got the green and black checker patterns here. Very cool. And this beautiful, withered, old, worn down wall look here is splendidly amazing. Yeah, I really like this. I love these display pieces. They are really knocking it out with these FNAF displays. Very good. And of course you have Withered Chica. Now, the one thing I'm going to say about Withered Chica is that I wish they do better in a bit of accuracy here, because besides the withering on her face needs to be a lot more, there's something wrong with Withered Chica. We all know, if you played FNAF 2 or watched a YouTuber play the game FNAF 2, you would notice Withered Chica has a broken jaw. Just completely broken jaw. She cannot move her mouth other than just waggle it a little bit with a massive beak. No arms, busted jaw. Her jaw does not look busted here. It's like her headpiece should be, instead of closed up like this, it should be up here. But it's not. Let me take this out of the plastic to get my point across better. Now, don't get me wrong, the sculpt is very nice and very thoughtful. I do like the sculpt, along with all the rest of these animatronics. I do love the sculpt for these animatronics. But Chica, I think, is the least accurate out of all of them. Because this jaw right here, this should not be this close to the mouth. Even if you put it down, it's supposed to be down permanently. This headpiece should be up here. It should be a lot higher. See, if I pull up a PNG right here, you'll see Withered Chica on the side, and this Withered Chica, it's just not the same. It just doesn't work. And of course, beyond that, you still got the same jump scare mechanic. At least this jump scare mechanic makes sense considering she does just pull out her arms like this. It's actually kind of hard to push this button for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm on camera. This definitely seems like a lot stiffer of a jump scare mechanic. But even so, that jaw barely moves. I think it should be permanently open mouth. Considerably. I do like this angle of Chica. Probably the scariest out of this. But then that scare factor kind of goes down when you start to do this, and it doesn't look as scary. I don't know. We need to do something about this not being scary. These animatronics are supposed to be old, withered, and scary, and the scary factor is kind of 36%, honestly. But still pretty cool all the... And Chica's leg just popped off. Oh. Okay, I can snap that in there, I'm sure. Just... Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, we're all good. Chica's leg did not break on camera. Her feet are just kind of out of place a little bit. Let me just straighten that out. And just because you have the jump scare mechanic doesn't mean you can't move the arm all the way around independently like that. Like so. You can move the arms up. All the way up, she can fling her arms to the side. She can move her arm and bend it just about as any other animatronic. Bend it just a little bit. Not at 90, but almost 90. Just like that. And the one interesting thing about her little arms here is that she's got these pegs with these wires. And it just kind of spins. It spins, but there are joints where you can angle them. So you can angle her arm, her little hand, her wire hands up or down. And you can just spin it around like that. So that's actually really nice. That there is some articulation there. You can have a little bit more posability with, given that she has no hands and it's just wires. The Let's Eat logo is nice and clear. It's printed on there. There's a little bit of dirt going on there on her body. Could be a little more dirt, but not bad. Got enough dirt there to work with. I did notice that they made this jump scare mechanic button here silver gray instead of yellow. I feel like they should have just kept this yellow. Don't know why they went with a gray here, but okay. And same with Freddy, you can move that leg forward like that and move it back just like that, about that far back. Her joints are at least smooth, nothing too stiff yet. Foxy is the only one with stiff legs right at the moment. You can bend Chica's leg about that far, go up just like that, bend forward with the foot, bend backwards with the foot just like that, and you can get a swivel here and a swivel at the ankle. All very nice and articulated. Drop down joints do help. That leg did pop off, but I popped it back on and she is good. Chica has some thick legs. Those chicken thighs don't lie. I'm starting to feel it's right. I do like the withering that's going on with the beak. And the jaw with the teeth looks really cool. I do like what's going on in that mouth. I just wish that her head, the jaw is fine, but the head definitely needs to get lifted up because it's supposed to look busted. So, and she could use some wires at her mouth too. Some wires coming out of her mouth. Other than that, I think it's still pretty good. I'm thinking here maybe this around her eyelids, it should be a little bit, the circle should be a little bit wider. She should have more of a surprise look, because that's how she kind of looked in the game. More like a surprised, scary, non-emotive look. I'm looking for scary. I'm just looking for scary. This gives me like, huh? I like this look. I like this look where she's looking. I like this. But as soon as she's tilted down, it's like, oh, just, huh. But yeah, the sculpt is still, besides that, it's still pretty nice. She's got the little hair things at the top of her head. Still a really good animatronic overall, and a welcome addition. I love that she's got the giant foot stompers down there. She's a big fat bird. I don't know, do you guys think that she should be fatter? I think she's pretty fat enough. Big fat bird. Big fat yellow bird. Now let me set up that background real quick. You know, every time I look at Withered Freddy's belly from a distance, it looks way better. Up close, it looks kind of like a Picasso painting. But far away, the farther away you get, I think the withering looks better from far. And here's part of the office set that you get. You get a part of the floor here, the nice checker floor that also has a texture feeling to it that makes it feel old. Same thing with a texture on the wall. So it's a nice display piece, and I believe I can fit Chica in there actually. So let me try. Now before I do put Chica inside that hole over there, I do like to mention that Chica's neck, what I do like is this silver. This metallic silver going on for her neck is really nice, and it continues all the way to the bottom of the jaw right there. I do like that silver detail. Instead of just leaving it yellow, it is like a silver neck joint. And there, I like that. So I will give them points for that. Okay, so Chica can fit her body in there. She is the biggest and fattest animatronic, so if she can fit in there, the rest of the animatronics should be able to fit in there. Okay, I tried to get her a better looking up pose, but again, without a proper neck joint, she can't really quite look up, but she's kind of leaned up. So that's a little bit better. Same thing with Foxy, Freddy. Kind of wish they had neck joints to turn their heads a bit. But this is the best that I can do for now. But overall, I'm really happy with these animatronics. I love the background setup of the office set. Just a piece of it. I just love the atmosphere of what it brings. I love the animatronics. The sculpts are really nice. The paintwork could be better. They kind of got sloppy on Withered Freddy and Withered Foxy. Just kind of paintbrush slapped it. But that could just be done better with just more paint. But the articulation and sculpt is still really good. Same with Chica. She needs a little bit of dirt on her face more, but still really nice overall. These are great animatronic figures. And I do recommend the World of FNAF animatronics because, as you see, I'm going to add Ringmaster Foxy over here to the side. And add a bit of Golden Freddy here. And as you see already, we're starting to build a universe. And that's what I love about this line of FNAF figures. I mean, we can really start building a FNAF world. And it can work with even the old Funko figures. We can kind of work with that too. We actually have the toy animatronics as well. Like, see how this can build up to more of a bigger FNAF world? Let me see if I can just fit Bonnie somewhere back here. Somewhere. I wish I can place him better. There we go. So yeah, See how we're building a FNAF universe with these animatronics. And last but not least, it's gonna be hard. Just gonna try to just sit this above here. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to bonding. We're gonna need to use your head for weight. As you see, we got the mangles. This is the Indo series mangles with Shadow Mangle and regular Mangle. And we got Mangle on the ceiling already. This is looking like a whole FNAF universe. And we're just building up even more. And this is really cool. But yeah, that's going to be it for these FNAF animatronics. Withered FNAF 2 animatronics. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are you going to pick up these Withered animatronics yourself? Do you think Jazwares is doing a good job with these figures? Where can they improve? Do you have any insight of anything that I missed with these animatronics? Tell me in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more FNAF content. I have other figures in mind that I have planned out. I will be covering more FNAF Jazwares news. I am aware of the sister location animatronics and the glam rock animatronics. I will talk about those in a future video. And if you want to make sure that happens sooner rather than later, please like this video to let me know that you like these FNAF figure reviews and news and information. With that being said, thank you again. Bye everyone, take care. Oh, and yeah, there's Vanny.